So you're in your 40s, you have no savings, and you feel like you've missed a train. But what if I could tell you you could still retire with $1 million? And if you do feel like you've missed a train, you're not wrong. Most people at this age think it's game over. But here's what they don't know. This is the moment that your mindset can make or break your future. And I know this from personal experience. So if you're in your 40s, broke or feeling like broke, and you feel like you're behind, then this could be the reset video for you. Because today I'm going to give you 7 strategies that work to get you from $0 to $1 million before you retire. And none of them involve the lottery or working 100 hours a week. Hi, my name is Rob. I'm Building Wealth Simplified, and I'm going to show you how to make $1 million before you retire. Let's get into it. Okay, first of all, let's get real here. Being in your 40s is not old. It's half time. You've potentially got decades ahead of you. Now, maybe like me, you've made some financial mistakes. Maybe you've never been taught to save and invest. Maybe life happened. You've had a divorce, layoffs. You've been unemployed. Whatever the reason, you're not alone. Over 45% of Americans between the age of 40 and 60 have less than $100,000 for retirement. And of those, almost half have less than $25,000. This is the fun retirement. Now that's not failure, and I'm certainly not assigning blame. This system wasn't made for us, but we can learn new systems, learn how to play smarter, and this is how we're going to turn things around. Step 1, accept where you are and own it. So this is the foundation. This is where we're going to start. You can't build wealth by pretending you're not broke. So step 1, we're going to accept where we are and spell it out so we know where we're starting. And for this, we need to know our numbers, every single dollar, our expenses, our income, our debt, and our assets. Easiest way to do this is print off your statements from your bank account and from your credit cards. Sit down with a pen and paper and map it all out. Now remember, there's no shame in starting at 0, but there's power in not staying there and actually doing something about it. Think of it like a GPS. Our destination is $1 million at retirement, but we can't get there unless we have a starting point. Now, when I did it myself a few short years ago, I was a bit nervous looking at my bank accounts and all my credit cards and seeing how much debt I had. But once I got started, I felt empowered. I drew a line in the sand and realized I wasn't going to go back, but go forward. For me, it was a bit of a pain barrier. For years, my head was stuck in the sand. But knowing I was going to finally get through that barrier and deal with my finances, it felt good. Step number 2, cut ruthlessly. Buy time, not stuff. Well, once you've got through that exercise and you know where we're starting from, it's time to get some money back. We're going to free up some cash so we've got something to work with. And just to be clear, it's not just that expensive latte from Starbucks. If we're going to get to $1 million before you retire, we're really going to have to cut the fat and do it in a meaningful way. And the first thing you can do is look at your biggest expense. Look at your housing. Can you downsize? Can you roommate? Can you move to a cheaper area? Now, this one's going to set the tone for this whole video. We're really going to find where we're spending our money and where we can save. Moving house may seem like an extreme measure, but it all comes down to how much do you really want to retire a millionaire? This is the time to ask those questions. How much you want it, and what are you prepared to do to get there? Will moving house save you a substantial amount of money? Will it improve your circumstances? Will it free up some capital? You may ask the question, Robert, have you done that? Have you moved house to improve your financial situation? And the answer would be yes. You see, I'm serious about improving my financial situation and improving the financial security of my family going forward. Is selling and moving house gets me closer to my financial goals and the security of my family? Absolutely. But that's something you need to answer for yourself. For me, financial independence and financial security is a life ambition and very important. You can also look at your car. And if you've got a car loan associated with it and it's more than 10% of your salary, you may need to look at getting rid of that. For me, having a car loan that big is eating into my goal and it doesn't work. In most cases, your car, 90% of the time, is there to get you from A to B. Now, I'm sure if you could put your mind to it, you can find a car for around $5,000 that will get you from A to B and last you years. Just imagine every month, no high interest car payment. How much money that would save you? Next, you can look at all your subs. There's a fortune to be made here. You have gym, Netflix, DoorDash, Uber Eats. It all adds up. Every $100 each month you can find and save is $1,200 you can invest. Even $10 a month will add up and compound over time. That's the really exciting stuff. We're going to go into that a little bit later. The most important thing here to remember is we're not depriving ourselves. We're regaining control. And if, like me, it's been a long time since we felt in financial control, it'll start to feel good. Step number 3, build an emergency fund first. Now, before we start investing, we need to have a little safety net, an emergency fund, somewhere between $1,000 to $2,500. Now, when I first started fixing my financial health, I didn't understand this concept of an emergency fund, but I eventually realized the critical nature of it and how important it was to have one. You see, we're putting together a plan, a long-term plan to fix our financial health and become a millionaire. And if something like a flat tire comes along or a broken furnace, it can derail everything. And that's where the emergency fund comes in. It's a little bit of money put aside to tackle these emergencies while you continue following your plan. There's no diversion from your plan or temporarily pausing it while you fix an emergency. Having an emergency fund is a financial equivalent of having air in your lungs. You need breathing room to survive in this game. If you're in your 40s, you'll understand from experience that things come up all the time, and typically they cost money. That fund is going to have your back. As life emergencies pop up to try and take you down, it'll have you covered. And when you use it for the first time and understand it's true magic, it will become your best friend. Setting up my emergency fund, I did an order payment every month, just a small amount, but it built up over time. We put it in a high yield savings account, and by doing an order payment, it made it a non-negotiable. And really, diverting your salary each month to emergency fund and to investments has to be a non-negotiable for this to work, as we're going to find out in the next step. Max out on your 401k. If your employer is offering you a match on your 401k and you're not contributing at least that much, you're leaving money on the table, and it's free money. I mean, seriously, if they match you 5%, that's 100% return every single month. Take it from me, and as encouragement to save more, it's a great deal. If you're doing that with your employer for 20 years or even 10 years, that could grow into a six-figure sum. Don't underestimate the power of compounding. Bottom line here is someone offers you free money, you take it with a smile and you max it out where you can. Now, if you're not doing this already, and this is not financial advice, personally, I would start tomorrow. Step 5, start investing consistently and aggressively. Now, I didn't start investing until I was 47, and at that point, I thought I was too far behind and I would never catch up. But I'm here to tell you happily that you can and you will if you want to. We have to be bold and we have to be smart. And here's a framework for you. Max out on your Roth IRA if you're eligible. If you're in Canada, this is your TFSA. Contribute to a 401k up to the match and use an IRA or a brokerage account. In Canada, this is your RRSP. Once you have money going into your account each month, you can start investing in index funds, the S&P 500, total market funds, and dividend growth funds. Automate your investments monthly, set and forget it. Now, me personally, I love the S&P 500, and I have a couple of ETFs I invest in every month. For me, index funds and ETFs were a safe bet. I didn't have to pick out individual stocks. And setting up that order deposit each month means there was no effort at all. Let's face it, we all have busy lives. The last thing we need is another thing to remember. The impact of compound interest on your money over the years, it's really going to grow. As just an example, investing $500 a month with an average return of 8% over 25 years, that will put you in about $472,000. That's almost $500,000 just investing $500 into the S&P 500, and less than half of that is your money. The rest of it is compound interest. And over those 25 years, you can escalate your efforts by adding any bonuses, any money you come into, or even increase the monthly contribution. But as a starting point, that $500 a month is very exciting potential and can truly show you that you can get to your goal. Step number 6, my favorite, start a side hustle. Now, it's very important to state that you don't need to hustle yourself into a complete burnout. You can make extra money, but we can do it the right way. The goal here is not to be extra busy and tired. It's to be strategic. You can ask yourself, what skill can you monetize to make money in your spare time? Can you freelance? Can you tutor? Can you write, coach, flip items? Can you start a small service business? Can you sell items on eBay? Can you get yourself a part-time job? Can you make digital products and sell them online? Find something that fits into your schedule and into your skill base and make some money from. And it certainly doesn't need to be a huge amount. I set myself a target of $125 a week or $500 a month, which is the same amount that we invested in the previous step. And after just a couple of years, I'm making more than $500 a month and investing it. It's that simple. But when I first started, small steps won the day. I wasn't overwhelmed. Time is an asset. We need to use it as such. Step number 7, upgrade your mindset and your circle. Looking back at myself now, I realized I was broke because I thought broke. I needed a new mindset, and my broke mindset needed to be replaced. Watching lots of finance videos, reading books, and networking with successful people was the secret sauce for me. You can listen to podcasts that teach about money, mindset, and investing. You can go to seminars and business groups and learn from the people already on the top and on the way there. But here's the secret weapon. You need to change who you hang around with and who you network with. Having a network of people around you headed in the same direction will elevate your efforts. In the same way that gamer friends will encourage you to spend time gaming, people focused on building wealth will be your secret weapon in your journey. You get lost or deviate, they'll get you right back on track. You lose motivation, they will pick you up. You need experience, you can use theirs. Your network will become part of your net worth. You'll rise together and you'll reach your goals faster. It's inevitable. So that's the 7 steps that are going to get you to your goal. And if you apply yourself, you will get to your goal. But let's talk about the challenges, and there will be some big challenges. And I know these from personal experience, but there are going to be days that's going to feel impossible. Life is expensive. Emergencies pop up. The market crashes. And you'll want to say, it's too late, I've missed my shot. But let me tell you something, those thoughts are lies and deceptions. Every person that has dug themselves out of debt and built wealth has done it with a plan and hard work. It's taken discipline, smart thinking, and some sacrifices to get to where they want to be. You may feel, like I used to, our circumstances are too tough to change. Well, I'm here to tell you that's wrong. And I'm going to give you an example to explain just that. For this example, we're going to use Mike. He's 42, has 18,000 credit card debt, and he hasn't saved a dime. Now, he has started tracking every dollar. He sold his car for $27,000. He started doing photography part-time at the weekends. By 47, he had $98,000 saved, and credit cards paid off. By 52, he hit his first $250,000. He is now on track for $1 million by 65. And with the help of compound interest on his investments, he's on track to make $1 million by 65. Now, was it flashy or a bit of a scramble? And does it matter? Mike's going to hit his goal by 65, and you can too. It wasn't too late for Mike. It wasn't too late for me, and it certainly is not too late for you. You're right on time, and you have the opportunity now to build a sound, secure, and successful future for you and your family. And because these steps are really important, here's the recap. Step 1, get brutally honest about your numbers. Step 2, slash unnecessary expenses. Step 3, build a starter emergency fund. Step 4, max out your 401k match. Step 5, invest in index funds every single month. Step 6, monetize a skill with a smart side hustle. Step 7, transform your environment and your habits. This is the blueprint. It's not hype, it's not sophisticated, but it certainly works. And from my own experience, starting at 47, small consistent steps will build an extraordinary future. So my advice to you now is stop thinking about how far you feel behind and start thinking about how far you'll be ahead in 10 years' time. Once I made that mindset shift, everything fell into place. Things I thought they were impossible actually started to happen. Now I know I can get anything I want. I just need to put together a plan and go get it. At 47 years old, I had nothing but bad debt. I had no savings and I had never invested a single dollar. Now at 51 years old, we have a 7-figure net worth and a complete mindset change. Now I want to be clear, this is not a flex, but if I can do it, you can do it. Now, I didn't start paying off my consumer debt until I was 47 years old. I didn't start investing until I was 48 years old. Before that, I was a heavy consumer. We spent everything we earned and more. We lived life in the most expensive way possible, and we were living paycheck to paycheck. And we gave very little thought to the next month, let alone the next 10 years. Up until my mid-40s, I would never believe I could ever do it. But that was my old mindset, and now I have a new one. Now, there's a lot to digest in this video, and I want you to get off to the best possible start. So I'm going to let YouTube decide which video to put here for you. They're going to choose one based on your browsing history. But if you go to my homepage, there's a lot of videos there, and hopefully some of them provide some value on your journey. In the meantime, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope you found some value today. Perhaps give me a thumbs up, it helps the channel, and I'll see you right there.